As you can tell by the title, we have finally fathomed this out. And I couldn't be any more happier. I sound exhausted. Hello everyone, my name is FlareBlitzed and welcome back to Missing Time, where finally we'll be getting through the good end of Shazaio's route, which has been an absolute abysmal because there are over 60 choices that you have to get correct in order to unlock this abomination of a route. I'm not sure of the exact catalysts that allows the route to open, so I'm just going to show you all of the choices that I make. Keep walking. Ask. It definitely would be. This is definitely one of them. Decline. Lucky you. Selecting Shazaio is a no given. I don't get it. School is closed, our dearest Shazaio Huns. Right. It's wrong of me to assume. I'm sorry to hear that. Meh. I guess that's not too bad. No, there's nobody actually. You're doing okay? Alright, be careful. And save Shazaio by throwing something at the man. Not tackling, because that results in a bad game over. Previous members were sure about supernatural ties. Is there anything previous members found? Shazaio. Ladder with the peaky peak. We've already been through this ordeal. We deserve to know the truth, Embers. And we have a question. Encourage Shiharu? Look, I think you two draw too much attention to yourselves, so what the heck? Go home. Say nothing? Convince Ember with one of Shiharu's lovely tarts. And on the topic of Shazaio, let's talk about her, shall we? Weekend shopping spree? Side with Ember. Didn't know you were into anime? A girl full of surprises. Yeah, let's not also talk about the incident. Interfere? Compliment her. Open the curtain. And we love spending time with you, Shiharu. It is the best thing in the world. Humour her. But why is one of the babies a demon though? Yikes. Select all of them. Ask about the curse, ask about the cases, ask about Emery, and then this is illogical because now we're not quiet at all. No, let's not talk about the incident. This is where I think most of the catalysts to succeeding in Shazaio's good route lies, is within this section of the game. But also when I was in the class about like asking for the were there any cases related to the previous members and stuff like that. My eyes go to the USB laying on my desk. I postponed into looking into it last night and just kind of forgot about it altogether. No time like the present. I boot up my computer and slip into my chair, legs bouncing. I constantly glance down at the USB. What's so important that Shazaio had to steal it from under Ember's nose? And why didn't Ember say anything about the USB? Did she simply just forget, or is there a more nefarious reason? There are only 3 files in the USB, a document, a video, and a sound file. Do you know what the worst thing about all of this is that I just remembered in my very first playthrough of the full game, I actually got to the part where it can delve into the good ending route, or at least it gets to one of the catalysts, which is a CG. And I don't even realise that until just now. There's a list of names written in the document. At first glance, I thought it was the victims list, but the names are different. Under each listing, there's a town name attached. This doesn't make sense. Why are these people's names here when they don't seem related to the case at all? But even then, I could have sworn I've seen these names somewhere. That night, the investigation, break into the fossility room Shazaio. These names, they are the students who moved away. These individuals are suspected to be possible victims but escaped death due to their timely transfer. Some of these are known to frequent the Onishi shrine, but have yet to visit after they left. It is unclear whether they had a connection with the shrine, or if they received a warning from the Onishis. Whoever put together this document must have had the same thought Shazaio and I did. These people escaped their gruesome fates by moving away. The last bit of information is interesting though. If the writer's hunch is true, then did the Onishi know about the cases being unnatural, or is it some kind of fortune-telling mojo? Still, to trust someone's words enough to move away, Despite several breaching attempts, Emery Onishi does not have any comments about the cases. Shizuyo Onishi said that she had no involvement in the shrine's business, therefore unauthorized to answer. A source said Shazaio is forbidden by the shrine to get involved. Interesting. So they knew about the cases prior to joining the club, but Shazaio was told to not get involved. Then why did Emery agree this time around? Maybe because this time around she is the one in charge, not her mother. The club's medium, Sozumi Katsuki, confirmed at the death sites that there are traces of dark energy. Due to the circumstances of these deaths, supernatural cases are highly likely as some of the locations are inaccessible by foot. That's something new. And another detail Ember forgot to mention. Speaking of which, despite new evidence and theories backing supernatural claims, Ember Honoyashi continues to insist the cases are human-caused, specifically by the local gang. As she has an obviously different standpoint from the club's view, for reasons more than one, the occult club has voted to have Ember Onoyashi removed from the club. Whoa there, so they were planning to boot Ember off the club. Does Ember know this? And isn't it, well, convenient that she's the only surviving member? It's almost as if Ember was somehow involved in these cases. But let's proceed. A chill goes down my spine. No, it isn't possible, is it? Now let's check out the sound file. I put on my headphones and click open the sound file, sorry. The urgent rustling and heavy breathing have me wincing a little. Oh dear. Somebody is out of breath. Ah! A sharp cry accompanies with a thud. The recorder appears to have tripped and fallen. Huffs and sobs. The rustling noise has become so loud it's almost static. Something churns in my stomach as I picture the image of someone scrambling away on their stomach, squirming through dirt and fallen leaves. Sobs. Please. Oh God. A snarl. Crunching footsteps. The recorder's sobs turn more frantic. Every hair on my body stands on end. I have a hypothesis that this is one of the other club members that Ember disemboweled. Every hair on my head stands on end. Oh God. No. No, 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 no. The growl is so close. It feels almost like the creature, whatever the pursuer, is right behind the recorder. Behind me. And this is where they're killed, I assume. No. No. No, 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 no. Heart-stomping screech. Vicious snarling. Panic struggling. No. Oh, this is probably it. No. Please. Yes. I'm not the best when it comes to this sort of thing. I don't have vocal stamina, despite me recording for the past 3 days straight on this game. Well, not 3 days straight, but near enough. 2 days recording the other routes, and 1 day just trying to find this goddamn route of Shazaio's. I yanked the headphones off my head, pushing myself away from the computer. Terrified, my heart hammers in my chest. My ears can still pick up faint screaming from my headphones. Oh God. Was that the recording of a victim in the moments of their death? Revolts, it takes all my self-control to keep the bile down my throat. Whatever the killer was, it definitely wasn't human. Now the video. If I can click it, that is. Out of all the files here, I dread the video the most. It can be anything. Gruesome or just random normal report. But I wouldn't find out if I don't watch it. Taking a huge inhale to calm my nerves, I put on my headphones and open the file. It's just dark at first, and the heavy breathing doesn't seem assuring at all. But then with shaky hands, the camera is adjusted, and suddenly I am looking at a roaring bonfire. And Emery. It's a bit blurry, but that white hair and shrine maiden holy garb are unmistakable, and so is her cold voice. Unwavering and emotionless. Repent, spirit of the Nevers. With arching motions of her hands, so elegant it's almost like a dance, a bow and arrow made of light appears. Taking a firm stance, Emery fires the arrow into the darkness. For a split second, an utterly and deathly silence. Holy moly, that is definitely a hiss. A hiss so high-pitched it can make my ears bleed. Overwhelming the entire video, the camera shudders violently as the horrible scream is accompanied by a series of sickening popping noises. Sudden light blinds the camera, and it ends. I don't know how long I just sat there, staring slack-jawed at the empty screen. Wild questions aside, if there's any doubt about the supernatural being telltales left in me, it's gone. We are indeed done. I pushed myself away from the computer, stunned how we were never shared the information in this USB is beyond me. Is Ember that desperate to hide everything against her opinion, or is there a more sinister reason? Would Ember, of all people, be involved with those very cases she is leading the investigation on? Springing up from my chair, I pace around, eyes wild and mind running 1,000 miles a second. I keep thinking and thinking and thinking. But then I realise I can't process this. The idea of a friend even remotely involved is impossible. Impossible to just even imagine. But is it really? The sound of my phone really makes me jump out of my skin. Hello? Hey, Flare? Oh my god, it's Shazaio! Hold on, don't say anything. It's not safe on the phone. Let me come over. Now? Yeah, alright. Well, you know where we live. Considering that, well, we had to get away from that madman one time. The sound of her hanging up intensifies my anxiety. Oh, dearie my. It felt like an eternity before the doorbell rang. Bolting to my feet, I ran down to see Shazaio waiting with a big hug from her arms. Sorry, that took a while. No problem. My parents are out. Let's head upstairs. Alright. Alright, you say. Now then, let's ask about the files. Shazaio, what the hell is wrong with those files? Can't open them? No, what? Oh, I paused, trying to slot my mind together. Shazaio also goes silent. Uncharacteristically patient, she must have anticipated this reaction from me. So, I take it you've gone through all the files? Yeah. Yeah, I have. Shazaio, what the hell is going on? I don't know. You tell me. So the whole magical shrine maiden. Yeah, so the whole magical shrine and maiden thing. That whole thing is real? Well, yeah, but it's a sensitive issue. But proof is proof, no? With this we can somewhat disregard Ember's claims. Besides, I've always thought Emery knows what she's talking about, and she certainly has the will to make it happen. You mean she believes in what she is talking about adamantly, even though she makes it a reality for herself? Weren't you raised on the same beliefs as she was? Again, I'm contractualized to say yes. She is talking in circles. Emery definitely isn't a subject Shazaio is comfortable talking about. There's a lot going on here, and I can't tackle everything all at once. I don't think this is about whose theory is more viable anymore. Oh? Honestly, I think neither of them has managed to present anything concrete so far. Both of them are very adamant about the cases they are presenting, but they have nothing to back those claims up besides superstitions. Not even after those files? The files presented a lot more information, but again, they back neither claims. This is getting interesting. Go on. Emery and Ember might both seem cemented, but on Emery's case, that's only a projection of her own strong belief in anything else. While, yeah, there's video evidence that she has magic, but it doesn't mean the supernatural has anything to do with the cases. Ember, on the other hand, has nothing but her words, and we have reasons to believe that those are fake. I didn't know you put so much thought into this. We are talking about a landmine that we're treading into, so we're going to have to put a lot of thought before treading in an area that could potentially contain a mine in the minefield. It's hard not to. If you have put so much thought into this, Then you must have your own theories, right? Don't you have yours, Shazaio? How about you have a go first, when I'll share my thoughts? I did give you the USB after all. Fair enough. There is nothing concrete on my end as of yet. I'm just speaking my observation. I don't have any conclusive theory yet. Shizuyo goes silent. Just when I thought she is going to leave me hanging, she begins, with a drop of tears in her tone. You don't have anything, or you don't want to tell me anything? So you don't want to tell me then? It doesn't matter. And here I thought the whole purpose of this club was to share our thoughts on the matter. We're not in a club meeting, Shazaio. That sounds like a weak excuse. I can't agree with that. What do you want me to say? The seriousness when she began this conversation is gone. My answer was definitely not what Shazaio was looking for, and I honestly don't know what to think. She is either playing with me or stalling for the right words to be spoken. Regardless, it's not a situation I like being in. Nothing you don't want to say, of course. I know how much you hold her high in regard. Enough that you won't say a bad word about her, even if it's just between you and me. Heart fluttering painfully against my ribcage, I narrowed my eyes. What are you talking about, Shazaio? Just so you know, favoritism is really unfair. No matter how you feel or what you know about her, you can't let your emotions cloud your judgment. My eyes widen. This isn't funny. What are you talking about, Shazaio? Another bout of silence. It's nothing. Forget about it. As I thought, you're just a sheep after all. You know what? Fine. I might be a sheep, but at least I'm honest. I don't really know what causes me to raise my voice, but I'm just sick and tired of people dancing around their answers and not giving me anything straight. Shizuyo's taunting is only worsening my mood. Right. Sorry. She sounds sullen. I don't think Shazaio is feeling that remorseful. She sounds like she's only saying sorry because she was called out on. The silence between us becomes suffocating. Despite being the person who gave me all this evidence to begin with, Shazaio's been awfully secretive about her own thoughts on the matter. I can't decide whether she is hiding something from me or afraid of voicing her own opinions. Knowing Shazaio, there's no way I can force anything out of her, so I opt for something more subtle. I said my piece. Are you comfortable with telling me your thoughts now? She makes a long sigh. Definitely doesn't sound happy at all, but fair is fair, right? Do you find it strange that Ember chose to speak about the files and the trinkets but completely ignored the USB? Of course, considering the USB has the most important information out of everything. For a topic as severe as what this club chose to investigate, don't you think every little detail is crucial enough to deserve a good look at? Obviously. Why do you think she didn't show us the USB? Well, I don't think there's a chance to. Regardless, that action alone makes us shady as hell. Stating the obvious here, aren't we? But I decided to humour her. Maybe Shazaio is getting somewhere. Yep. I mean, even if we give her the benefit of the doubt, let's say she forgot about it due to all the ruckus happening right after. There have been meetings since, and not to mention Ember has been hanging out with us recently. Yeah, she had plenty of chances to bring it up. If she had nothing to hide, she would have noticed USB missing and asked around at least. Precisely. Do you think Ember might be involved with the cases in more ways than we think? Whoa, even saying that breaks a cold sweat on my brows. Part of me doesn't even want to acknowledge that. Not only because she's a friend, but also because I fear for myself and anyone who is involved with her. I'm not throwing out accusations, but if she's innocent, then she shouldn't have any fear. Doesn't she want to get to the bottom of this? Why ignore? Hide other pieces of evidence. More importantly, what else isn't Ember telling us? We fall into silence once more. Potential could be cut with a knife. I comb back my memories trying to find logical explanations for the points Shazaio brought up. Logical. Shazaio brought up. Admittedly, I try to find reasons favourable to Ember's, and yet, the more I think, the more I start to doubt her. From what I've seen, Ember yearns for companionship, not just simple friendship, but a connection with someone who accepts her as a whole. Ember is an outcast, but despite that, thrives in positive attention and friendship. She no doubt craves loyalty as well, someone who would stay true to her against all odds. Maybe this would extend to a person who would agree to her views, and to assure that she isn't at fault. I recall the way Ember has always so defensively steered the speculations about the students' deaths away from supernatural causes, the way she gets angry every time every time Emery or even Shazaio brings up the subject. The club's name is Occult Research, and it must have been named that way for a reason. With all the original members gone, Ember can just run the club how she sees fit, and covers up whatever mess she has made easily. Doubts and fear hits me like a truck. I wobble on my feet and have to lean on the wall to steady myself. She was almost kicked out of the previous club, but everyone else died before that could happen. Isn't that fishy? Too convenient, isn't it? Yeah, too convenient. Someone set Ember up. Do you think someone else set Ember up? Huh? Okay, hear me out. I know everything looks bad for her right now, but what if someone used the situation to get dirt on Ember? Well, I mean, there is nothing in the USB that could possibly pin her with any kind of accusations yet. What's that saying? Ah, Ember is innocent until proven guilty. You should consider being a defendant lawyer in the future. Thanks. But yeah, you have a point. I guess I'm just so tired of all of this stuff. I wanted a quick, convenient answer. It's fine, trust me. I think we all feel the same. So, what now? We need to get an answer out of this somehow. Well, there's a halting note in her voice. Shazaio is contemplating something, and my mind immediately goes to our investigation together. Shazaio, are you going to do something crazy again? Who? Me? Why, I'd never... Fine. I'm thinking there are some, sources that might be useful. Shazaio? Well, it'd be a tiny bit difficult to get my hands on the information. And last time, on the very first playthrough I did, if you remember, we selected I'll help, rather than selecting is it dangerous. And selecting is it dangerous is the only way in which we can get to Shazaio's good end. Is this going to be dangerous? Aw, Flare, are you worried about me? Of course I am. Aw, are you just the sweetest? This isn't a joke, Shazaio. Of course it isn't. She is saying that, but does she really understand, or care for that matter? You shouldn't do this, Shazaio. Seriously? I am. This is way too risky. You don't even know what I'm about to do. And honestly, I don't want to know. After everything I've seen so far, I don't think this club, and whatever we're trying to uncover, is not worth risking anyone's safety over. Are you really going to play chicken with me right now? I'm being cautious. Nice of you to want to pull outright after I've gone through so much trouble to get some concrete evidence. Yeah, she's definitely not happy with me, but still, I have to try. That instant with Chiharu, I have more and more reasons to believe it wasn't any ordinary petty bullying. The details just don't add up. That strange phone call, the burn mark, melted door handle, and the fact that Chiharu couldn't recall who her attacker was, or were. I shudder to think what Emery said that day might be true. If Chiharu was really the first victim of the year, who knew what would happen to us? Me and Shazaio especially, now that we've gotten our hands on some damning evidence. If Ember was truly involved, then it would only be a matter of time until she realised what Shazaio took the USB. I just don't want you to get hurt, or God forbid be the next victim. Look, Flare, it's impossible for her to be the next victim, okay? Shizuyo sucks in a breath. It was a bit blunt of me, yes. However, it was possible. If the evidence in the USB was not staged, and Shizuyo seems to believe it's real enough. Haven't you heard, Flare? Fortune favours the bold. I thought it was fortune favours the brave. Yeah, but the bold don't live long, do they? How pessimistic. Whoever the culprit is, you, I don't think they are crazy enough to go after an ownership, because the culprit isn't ownership. Honestly, this girl, do you really want to take that chance? It's not like I have anything to lose. What do you mean? She chuckles airily. The sound somehow made all the hair on my neck stand on end. Haven't you heard? I only have a few years, well, 2 max to live. But what? What? Being an ownership isn't all rainbows and sunshine, you know. In fact, we hardly even got enough of that for the troubles. But how does that make your life shorten in any way? You saw the magic my sister performed in the video, yes? Speechless I nod. In my world, everything has a price. The price for using magic happens to be one's lifespan. And as I turn out to be Emery's magical sister, I will be the proud lifetime donor to my sister's cause. If I haven't already been sitting down, I sure would have fallen to the ground. That's Shazaio, outrageous, I know. So you see, it shouldn't be a problem, since I wouldn't be living for much longer anyway. Despite the shock, that nearly got me yelling at her. Gosh. Holy gosh. 2 years or 20 years, it doesn't matter. Passionate about this, aren't you? At the very moment, I very badly wish I could smack Shazaio up the head. No, you don't do that. Look, I don't understand what you are going through, being an ownership and all that, but all I do understand that the club isn't worth risking your life. Over. Oh, you shouldn't have said that. Ember would be terribly offended, you know. I don't give 2 blanks about what Ember thinks. Shazaio goes quiet. Not for the first time. I'm scared that she would just get up and leave. So you really aren't all that serious about the club, huh? Hell no! It wasn't my idea to join the club in the first place, you know. Let me guess. Shiharu? Bingo! We got assigned into it by the student councillor. A real jerk that person was. I see. Shiharu really is something. She even got someone like you to join this club on a whim. You forgot the part that she was the only person my age I know at Komachi High at that point. Hard to want to be separated when everyone was a stranger. Ah, and that's changed. A while ago, yeah, even before. I cut myself short. Almost blurting about that terrible incident. Clearing my throat, I continue, not missing Shazaio's narrowed eyes. Even before that incident with Shiharu in the cooking club. Do you remember that? Yeah, I remember that. I can't tell if she brought it or not. Maybe I should just count myself lucky that she's not digging me for information. She went for it because we agreed that a club isn't for either of us. If the members of Cooking Club weren't such blanks, yeah, then neither of us would have still been here probably. I see. Well, for what it's worth, I'm glad you're still sticking around. Thanks. We sink into a companionable silence for a moment, the calm before the storm, I suppose. I still need to convince Shazaio to not do anything foolish. She really is good at avoiding the subject, and I'm not sure how long I can draw this conversation out. But I'm serious, Shazaio. Please, don't do anything. Stupid? Like I haven't heard that one before. I'm not trying to control you or anything. I'm just generally concerned. You are my friend, and I do care for you. Don't think I'd ever hear that from you. And why not? Never mind that. But I don't know. I've put an awful lot of thoughts into this. Giving up halfway isn't my style. I shake my head. Shazaio, let me put this into perspective. Is it worth it to leave your life up to chances? Shazaio tilts her head, staring at me inquisitively. What do you think, Flare? Without hesitation, I answer, it's not. Shazaio goes quiet. It's difficult to read her expression. When Shazaio wants to, she could put up a mask as impenetrable as Emery's poker face. I can only hope that she would take my concerns into consideration. Shazaio blows out a long breath, looking somewhat put upon. Fine, I'll listen to you. But you've got to make it up to me for all the troubles I've gone through. Feeling like a heavy weight is lifted off my chest, I laugh. I can do that. I'll definitely make it up to you for your lost time. How about we take a day out and go somewhere? My, how bold. Are you asking me out for a date? Feeling my cheeks heating up, I scratch the back of my head. It can be if you want it to be. You're quite the smooth talker, aren't you? Just promise me one thing. If we go on this, date, and if you're happy about it, let's leave the club together, okay? Alright, deal. Ah, before we actually swoops in and plants a kiss on my lips. I was right about you, Flare. You really are to die for. Is that foreshadowing? I gotta go now. Text me later about the deets. Bye! She dances out of my room before I could utter a word. Heart thumping in my chest, I shakily lie down on my bed. I just negotiated myself out of something incredibly dangerous and delicate, only to land myself a date. Well, I'd rather worry about planning a date rather than being caught up as a potential next victim. Life's too short for that. Most definitely. Yes. Yes. Yes! Finally! We are finally away from that cafe. We are finally away from that perpetual cycle of either a Shazaio bad ending where we die in the storage room or die at the shrine. From Ember. It's a bit unnerving, waiting for Shazaio at the train station. What if she doesn't come? You can never tell anything for sure with Shazaio. Patting my pocket to make sure my wallet is there, I shift my weight around on my legs. This is truly anxiety-inducing. Lost in thoughts, I nearly jump out of my skin when someone jabs me in the back with an incredibly sharp nail. Ah! Hee hee, scared you there. Really now, Shazaio? Shazaio sticks her tongue out at me, grinning. So where are we going? Are we staying overnight somewhere? Feeling a bit flustered, I clear my throat. We're going to take a 2-hour train ride, and no, we're not staying overnight anywhere. So you're not telling me where we're going now, huh? I did say it's meant to be a surprise, did you? So you must have texted her in between these events to say that I'm going to make it a surprise, or she asks and the protagonist says, it's a surprise. That's fine, as long as you don't dump my body in a ditch somewhere. But why would we do that, Shazaio? Shazaio, don't joke about those things. And you shouldn't be such a grandpa. Let's go. Letting Shazaio drag me through the entrance. Handing Shazaio a ticket, we pass through the check-ins together, where she immediately spots the station's coffee stand. Let's get some snacks for the way. It's only a 2-hour ride, Shazaio. Yeah, I haven't had breakfast yet. Do you want me to starve? And runs off before I can respond. Honestly, this girl, she is impossible. Of course, after a full 10 minutes of scrutinizing the menu, Shazaio walks away with only an overly complicated cup of tea. It's just me or Shazaio seems too excited about this. Come on! She is certainly energetic, let's just say that. Ah. Wait, we got this sort of thing from Shiharu's good end. Aperio! Aperio is a story of a soldier kidnapped by aliens, researching the evolution of war. He is joined by others from different time periods, trapped on a foreign planet, With no way to leave and no way to die, his only known means of escape is to win every war. And Shazaio is still excited, with those arrow eyes, which I once upon a time said is the equivalent of a car crash. Shizuyo picks out a window to sit for herself, fixes her hair and takes a selfie. Yep, definitely energetic today. Is this your first time out of town? You can say that. I said it as a joke. My surprise must show a little too clearly because Shizuyo snorts at me. The few trips I have had outside of town were for family business, and I never really got to interact with outsiders, so there's the downer. Oh? You're not planning to be the downer of today, aren't you? Liven up, we only live once after all. Heh, she is right. Even though the events leading to this date were rather unsettling, I did plan to make today fun. Fun enough to loosen up Shazaio at least. So, Flare, where are you taking me? You're not getting out of me that easily. Shazaio narrows her eyes. Oh, you're good. Yep. You'll just have to wait and see. You already know how to work a girl up, don't you? Her over-the-top dramatic voice brings out a chuckle from me. The train ride is a lot less tense than I had anticipated. Shizuyo takes a lot of pictures of the scenery passing us by us. We chat about nonsensical things. Games, schoolwork, the newest celebrity gossip. I can't speak for Shizuyo, but I am glad for the distraction. It's difficult to not sprout any weird questions in front of the other passengers, though I wonder why that bugs me so much. Why am I so worried about ruining this moment? The thoughts are washed away by Shizuyo's laughter. Each sound twinkles like summer bells, sharp and refreshing. It makes me think that she is letting her guard down a bit around me. The thought brings a strange warmth to my chest, despite knowing how elusive Shizuyo can be. This is our stop. Oh my gosh, I know where you're taking me! Ah, squinting, she snatches my hands and drags me away before I can even stand up. Despite her enthusiasm, Shizuyo stops dead in track as we exit. Oh my god, it's a theme park! Oh my god. The first thing we see before us are colours, fluttering flags, blinking lights and sky-high rides. Music and people's chattering noises, occasionally punctured by a scream, create some sort of chaotic harmony. You took me to an amusement park. You actually took me to an amusement park. Her excitement makes me a little bashful. Rubbing the back of my neck, I chuckle before offering her a ticket. Well, I figured you've probably seen everything there is to be seen in a regular city, so an amusement park might be a nice for a change. Nice? This is awesome! I find myself being dragged again. Now stop dithering around, I want to go on all the rides! This might go a little better than expected. We stop by a food stand as Shazaio gets each of us a hot dog. Aww! Didn't know you were a junk food kind of girl. I didn't either. I'm trying out every stall here. That might be a little too much. And just to say this right now, this is definitely more exciting than being at the cafe and talking about the other things. This might be a little too much. Who cares? Today is a special occasion after all. It's like watching a little kid. We stroll around as we eat, stopping by game stores every now and then. Want me to win you something? Shazaio bats her eyelashes at me. You would? For me? Only to elbow me a second later. Just kidding. You can't bring plushies onto rides. Maybe later. Later it is. Shazaio being Shazaio, of course, the first ride she wants to try is the most intimidating roller coaster I've ever seen. She practically vibrates beside me as we stand in the queue. Are you sure you want to ride this first? I figured going on this early would be better than late. Don't want to lose my lunch. We literally just had hot dogs. Don't you want to build up with other rides then? Well, what's the point if we don't tackle the biggest goal in front of us first? Which is Shazaio, I mean. What, you scared of a wee ride? That's an interesting way to see things, Shazaio. For once, Shazaio looks at me with no mirth in her eyes. Assessing and calculating, her attitude is almost identical to Emery's for once. People often say save the best for last, but that's not how I want to live. Life is brutal and fleeting. If you don't take on the greatest challenges, there is no telling if you will ever get the chance to again. What, too dark for you? Nah, it's a good mentality. That way there will be no excuses to avert anything that comes across you in life. It's not a little reckless, but we're young. That's what we're supposed to be. My, seems I've got to up my game. I thought Shazaio would be one of those girls who would scream on a roller coaster out of excitement, of course. But she is definitely quiet next to me, even as the world around us tumbles down, with a sort of manic grin on her face. Though, when we thankfully touch the ground, Shazaio bounces up like a hyperactive child. Ah, woohoo! That was exhilarating! Where should we go next? Ah, the sparkles in her eyes are just so wholesome. There are a lot of rides here. Why don't we go consult the map? Good idea! We end up on an adventure ride titled Egyptian Tomb Raider. Okay. It sounds like this is going to go into a pyramid. An Egyptian pyramid horror ride. The cars are fashioned like minecarts, and the track runs through a set that looks straight out of a movie, or at least that's probably what they hope to achieve. What surprises more is that Shazaio picked up this ride. Isn't this a bit too childish for her? Nonsense! Shazaio seems content to sit back and take pictures with her phone. Hey Flare, do you think the real Egypt looks like this? Yeah, I mean, we don't have any desert here, but sure. It doesn't. My dad went there on a business trip once. It doesn't look anything like this at all. Thought so. People really like to sell fake images, huh? Lean onto the edge of the car, Shazaio giggles quietly as at the animatronics animals. It's just like the people in town. As long as everything is fine on the surface, it's okay to sweep up all the troubles under a rug. Once again, I'm taken aback. I didn't think Shazaio would bring up this matter without prompting. It's easier to live that way, I suppose, pretending that everything is fine and peaceful. Yeah, until something happens to them. Some people do thrive on ignorant bliss. Her laughter escapes Shazaio. Bitter. Don't I know some people just like that? Are you one of them, Shazaio? What? Do you ignore the problem until it goes away? Or do you turn that into an advantage for yourself? Her chuckle this time is more natural. Interesting, but neither. Rather, I am the problem itself. Yes, you are. You are the problem. You are the party bringer. Is that how you see yourself? Doesn't everyone? Is this ultimately about how she feels about Emery? Or is this something deeper? Shazaio doesn't look like she wants to talk anymore, so I leave her be. There's something unsettling about her, but there is also something inherently sad. Ah, we get onto 3 other rides before deciding to stop for lunch. Ah, now we're on a bench. Once again, Shazaio surprises me by getting chicken nuggets in the shape of dinosaurs. We take our food to one of the many benches around the place, since Shazaio wants to eat under the open sky. She definitely is acting differently today, very joyful. Based on the way she normally carries herself, her choices in accessories and clothing, I would never have thought she would be sitting here, dunking her T-Rex enthusiastically in ketchup. You're thinking I'm being weird, aren't you? Not necessarily, just didn't expect you to enjoy this kind of food. And you are absolutely correct. It's disgusting, then why are you eating it? Then why keep eating it? Shazaio shrugs, chomping down in her dino heads. Because it's fun! Her grin brings out my own. When I decided on taking you here, I didn't think you would enjoy it this much. I'm glad that you are. What's there not to like? It's something I've never experienced before, and I am with excellent company. But yeah, I get what you mean. You do have an eye for luxurious things. That, and people keep providing me with those. It's not like I don't enjoy that. I do have a knack for things that normal people don't have easy access to. But sometimes, it's nice to just be normal. Poking around with a triceratops, Shazaio is deep in thought. Trying to piece together the correct words, more like another strange behaviour to add to today. The circumstances of my birth and childhood are not normal. I'm the second child born to the ownership for a long time. And the first to have no powers. I was made for my sister to channel the excess of her activities into, and my parents thought of me as a little more than a nuisance. There is nothing normal about me, Flare. She breaks the chicken nuggets into pieces, slathering ketchup onto them, but then she ignores the food, taking a sip of soda instead. Ever since I was born, I have always been the problem. If I am not the problem of causing problems, then my existence would fade into obscurity. Is that why you always try to draw attention to yourself? Maybe. Is that how you see me? An attention hogger? Shazaio, yes. No, I just think it's an incredibly lonely way to live. Ember is right. I shouldn't have let myself get close to you. What? Shazaio doesn't elaborate. I don't push her to either. We finish up lunch and decide to hit the game booths while our stomachs digest the food. Shazaio seems to have regained her excitement with whack-a-mole, using the padded hammer with mad gusto. She smacks it hard. A few games of skee-ball and fishing later, we end up with a bunch of tickets. Would you like me to get you something, Flare? Well, it's only midday, and like you said, we can't bring plushies onto the rides. That is true, but I'm not walking around with a stack of papers. Hold on. I take away the tickets, tell Shazaio to wait, then run off to the prize booth, as I suspect there isn't much I can get with the amount we've won. After some thinking, I hand over the tickets and walk away with 2 items. Here you go, Shazaio. 2 items. The first item is a giant sour apple lollipop. The other item is a Katsumine phone charm with rhinestones on its chest and a cute bell attached to the string. Isn't that just super cute? Shazaio holds the charm in her palm, running her thumb gently over it. A Katsumine, huh? You don't like it? No. I really like it. Thank you. She takes out her cell phone and loops on the charm. Smiling, Shazaio dangles the tiny fox in front of me. Looks just like me, huh? A little. I actually have something just like this too. Rummaging through in her backpack, Shazaio pulls out a Katsumi plushie that fits into the palm of her hand. It definitely has seen better days, worn and faded, but obviously well loved, indeed. It's the memories that you share with the item, not just the condition of the item itself. The condition of the item doesn't matter. You could have a 30-year-old worn out teddy bear, but because that teddy bear has been with you since childhood, that teddy bear has been with you through the thick and thin of your life. You had it since you were a kid? Yeah, I don't go anywhere without her. It's a bit childish and something so out of character for Shazaio, but I detect a hint of affection there, if not faint. There is a warmth in the pit of my stomach as it's revealed. This is something intimate, far more than Shazaio's fleeting kiss back at my place. We start moving again. Shazaio carefully puts her prized toy away. Is there a story behind this one? Maybe. I might tell you if you behave. Everything is a game with you, huh? How else would I entertain myself? Shazaio, this isn't a game. This is real life. We share a laugh before consulting the park's map once more. I didn't realise they had an indoor water park here. Ooh, that sounds fun. I want to go on that slide. Did you bring any swimming gear? Actually, I did. I wasn't sure where we were going, so I packed a bit of everything. A bit of everything. You sure are prepared, Shazaio. I even brought a toothbrush and pyjamas. Really? A toothbrush and pyjamas? What do you think we were going to do? Have a slumber party? Quit your complaining. And I'm sure you'd have wanted to see my pyjamas regardless. It could just be nothing if I have him. No. Lovely. Lovely dovely. And here we are. Thus we find ourselves at the water park. It always pays off to pack extra. She looks so proud of herself. Smug like a cat's knee before I could form an adequate answer, I find myself being dragged up the stairs from a giant slide. I should just resign to the fate of being dragged around by Shazaio. Of course she chooses to sit at the front of the inflatable. I'm a slight concerned with how tiny Shazaio is. I just hope she won't get flung off. With a whoosh, we are off into the tube. Yes! Instinctively, I press all my weight down, legs on either side of Shazaio, and hoping that if she does get flung out, I'd react quick enough to grab her. Thankfully, nothing happens, but Shazaio's excited noises and we plunge to water together, splashing about as we climb out. Hey! You can tell that this is definitely the most rewarding ending because there's a lot of CGs that are not involved within the other parts of the game. That was great! Yeah, I haven't been on one since I was a kid. First time for me. What's next? Deciding that we'll need a bit of a downtime, I'll let Shazaio to the lazy river. So the current will just push you about, but there's no risk of drowning. That's cool. It's impressive how you could imagine the worst case scenario with the safest activity of the day. It's one of my irresistible charms. Chuckling at her enthusiasm, I waddle into the current. Shazaio bobs next to me, giggling as the underwater sprouts tickle her sides. Want a piggyback ride? Huh? Blinking at my own boldness, I feel myself going pink. It's one of the things people do here. We don't have to if we don't want to. Inquisitively, Shazaio looks around us. There are a few groups milling about. Couples giggling together, parents with children on their backs, laughing in the spins of water. I half expect Shazaio to tease me, but I am surprised yet again when her eyes soften. Yeah, I'd love to. Gingerly, as if she is made of glass, I put her arms around my neck. Feeling her leaf body press against mine as we flow along the water. Shizuyo rests her chin on my shoulders, her breath warm against my ears. This feels nice, isn't it? The lazy river is meant to be relaxing and to recharge your energy for more activities, or at least that's what my parents told me. Sounds like they just didn't want to deal with a hyperactive kid. Maybe, but it's still a nice thought. Yeah, it really is. One of the river branches leads up to the open hot tubs, where we sit and relax for a bit before heading to the wave pools. There, Shizuyo's excitement returns tenfold as she screams with laughter, splashing about until both of us inhale a few lungfuls of water. This is so cool. It imitates real ocean waves, right? It does. Just wait until we go on that vacation with Shahara and the others. You've been to the beach, right, Shazaio? I haven't, but I've seen it on TV. I guess they just can't replicate the sand here, huh? Yep, if you like it here, you'll love the real deal. That earns me a strange look from Shazaio. Her smile is small and cryptic, with a lingering sadness I just can't quite catch. I think here is perfect already. We spend another hour sampling every pool and even climbing onto the kids' jungle gym. I swear, kids get the best stuff. And she is saying that as she dumps a bucket of water on my hand. Well, it seems like there's a bit of story there that was just cut out, I'm not too sure. After changing and getting out from the locker, I stand outside to wait for Shazaio. She comes out a few minutes later, hair still sopping wet. I forgot to bring a towel. You're going to catch a cold like that. It's sunny out, my hair will dry off. More importantly, where are we going to next? We're not going anywhere with that. It's my turn to drag her only to a drying booth though. Popping a few guys into the machine, I push Shazaio under the vent. It's hot. Not as hot as your touch though, Flare. I'm joking. That's the point. But I hate sweating. The air will dry that off too. It's better than catching a cold. Once Shazaio is dried off to my satisfaction, we go for more rides. Shazaio grabs one of the flies and checks off all the ones we have already tried. So this means we have the pirate boat, the swing ride, slingshot ride, the Ferris wheel, and the drop. Other than that, there's the haunted house, the mirror maze, and the aquarium. Well, the haunted house would be kind of like the Egyptian thing. with zombies and jump scares instead of animatronics. As much as I'd love to watch you scream, I don't think that would be nearly as scary as reality we're living with. Right, so the mirror maze is right next to the pirate boat. How about we go this route? Basically, we'll just start the afternoon round at the swing ride and end our visit at the Ferris wheel. Yeah, ending things off on the Ferris wheel sounds lovely, and in a way romantic. The swing ride and a pirate boat back to back might not have been the best idea I've ever come up with. Suddenly out of the last ride I cradled my stomach, feeling like I'm about to hurl about after making fun of me to her heart's content. Shazaio nudged me to a bench. Ah, sheesh, sit down. Who would have thought I'd be able to outlast you on my first time? Blaringly I glare at her. Shazaio snickers. Want something to drink? I'll be fine. We probably should get going though. Huh? Why? Won't have time to visit every spot before we have to go back otherwise. That's fine, we can skip the mirror maze. Are you sure? I'm able to walk, you know. It's fine, just rest up. I don't like mirrors anyway. You'd think someone like Shazaio, who loved looking at her own reflection, would love looking at her own reflection, as if she could read my thoughts. Shazaio huffs out a chuckle. I'm not that big of a narcissist, you know. Well, maybe a little. You just don't like it in a maze form. Not necessarily. I just don't like it when there are too many of me around. After all, I am one of a kind. Yes, you are, Shazaio. She flicks her hair airily, nose up with a smirk, but Shazaio can't quite hide that note of whatever that word is in her voice. Do you see your sister in you sometimes? I do. I hate to admit, but I do. Again, Shazaio seems to shift through her words. Her hands fold together in tight knots of fingers. Before she uses to keep them in her lip, makes her tremble, just slightly. Yeah, it is lap, sorry. I ease her hands away and hold them firmly in mine. Shazaio looks up, startled. Why are you so nice to me, Flare? Do I have a reason not to be? You should know by now that I'm not the nicest person around. Being nice to you is my choice. It doesn't matter if you think you deserve that or not. Yeah, you're so nice to everyone. I think despite Emery's denial and my own, we are very similar in a way. We both made the conscious choice to close off our hearts, and we are both tormented by the shadows of our pasts. Do you regret it? I don't know. I don't think so. If given the chance to turn back time and change everything, I don't think I would do that. But why, Shazaio? Surely you would not want to be tortured every day and be used as basically a slave for Emery, and a slave for your mother's deeds? If I was Shazaio, I would definitely turn back the hand of time and prevent myself from undergoing that kind of slavery. I do wonder now why Shazaio says that you don't get paid for slave labor or something like that when we was in the closet. No, not closet, the storage room. As a child, there was very little I or even Emery had control over, so nothing could have changed. Not until, oh dear, passed away anyway. We don't talk about her a lot, you know. She died young, just like every other Unushi, just like I will. If I'm going to go soon, I'd rather go without regrets. Do you have any? If you asked me before today, then the answer might have been different. Alright, enough idle chatter, let's get going. The aquarium. Instead of going on the remaining rides, Shazaio decides we should have some ice cream while strolling through the aquarium. Schools of fish dart through the blue water. Colourful and lively along the corals, it's a small aquarium compared to most others, but the effect is the same. It is calming, watching as vibrant bodies weave through the water, with soft music playing in the background. Shazaio wanders along the glass walls, making funny faces at the fish she passes by. Do you think these fish know that they will never be able to go back to the ocean? Thing is, we don't think of fear, greed, and anything like that. It's only instinct. Probably not. Most of them are bred in captivity, so they never know what the real ocean feels like. She taps up the glass, puffing her cheeks up. Yeah, I know that feeling. Why don't you go out more often then? It doesn't seem like anyone is stopping you. It's not that simple. I lied about where I was going today. Ember doesn't particularly care where I am as long as I am in town. If she knew where I was, she would have probably come to drag me home. Would you get into trouble for coming here with me then? Probably. But it'd be worth it. Well, I'm sorry in advance. I hope you won't get busted. Shizuyo chuckles. Don't be sorry. I'm the one who agreed to this. I had an inkling you'd be taking me out of town as soon as I got your message. If I wanted to obey my sister's will, I could have said no. It has been a good day today. It has. Thank you for agreeing to go with me, Shazaio. Yeah, thank you for having me. And now it's night time. It's dark out when we finally emerge, but Ferris will light up in every colour of a rainbow, bright in the inky sky backdrop. I can't help but feel a bit cheesy purchasing a stick of cotton candy for us to share as we climb into a capsule. Ah, this is a beautiful view. Our lovely friend in front of us, the beautiful night sky with the moon out, and a bit of cloud as well. Shazaio laughs at how I managed to get some of the sugary threads on my hair, and I stick a clump of it on her nose. Ah. As the wheel brings us higher and higher to the sky, we quiet down, gazing out to the sea of lights before us. I feel a bit melancholic. I am sad that this day has ended, and once we arrive home, things will just snap back to normal. Getting to know Shazaio has been an eye-opener. I just wish there was something I could do to alleviate that loneliness in her heart and ease the pain of her past. And there is the matter of her death as well. Shazaio hasn't been too open about it despite bringing it up a few times today. Who would be, really? But I find myself wanting to know out of painful curiosity and also to think of some way to help her cope with it. Or is it me who needs coping? I wonder. I'd say a bit of both. If you really care for your friend who's suffering through her traumatic experiences, then surely that pain has been split onto you as well because you care for that person and their health. How much longer do you have? They say a couple of years more. Ember gave me 2. I feel like it's going to be shorter than that. How do you feel about that? Shazaio finally turns her eyes away from the starless sky to meet mine. Heh, you'll be the first and last to ask. I don't know. People would say I deserve that. I can't say I disagree. I wholeheartedly disagree. I am manipulative, unsettled and cruel, but I am not going to deny, not to you. You're avoiding the question again. Sorry, it's a bit of a second nature of mine now. She leans over the edge, chin perches onto folded arms. Maybe I've enjoyed this life game too much. Maybe I'm too tired of everything. Are you saying that you shouldn't have been born then, and that's why you keep considering your life to be a game because you are an unexpected second Unashi in the same generation? I'm tired of being bound to the cycle I was born into. But giving into death would mean that you would have to give up everything. Maybe? Who is to say there is nothing beyond death? After all, it might just be another journey, beginning where life ends. Until you go, is there anything you would like me to do? Don't ask me that. You know I want to do it all. You would? How about we make this into a routine? A routine? Yes. Let's go to a new place every other weekend. There are so many places to explore, so many things to see. How about we go to a beach next? Oh, I like the sound of that, but what if Ember finds out? We can include her in a few of our trips, throw her off track, make it seem like there's no secret. My flair. If I didn't know any better, I'd say you're a bad influence. I learned from the best. You're really something else. What about the townsfolk? Surely if they see me at the station too often, would you? They could report us to the shrine easily. That's disturbing to know. But I act unfazed. Who says we have to take the train every time? Ahaha, we can always hire a car out of town on one guise or another, then go from there. I like the way you think. Thank you, Miss Onashi. So do you agree? Yeah, we should definitely do this from now on. Her hand finds mine, lacing our fingers together, keeping the warmth there against the chills of the world. Laying her head on my shoulder, she plays with a Katsubi charm in her lap. It is obvious there is something on her mind, but I am content to stay like this until she settles her thoughts. The silence is bliss, only disturbed by the dulled movements of the Ferris wheel and the charm's jingles. Today went by so fast. Well, as they say, time flies when we're having fun. Yeah, I wish we could stay. Me too. Would you remember today, Flare? Just for me? Of course, Shazaio. You will remember it too, won't you? She smiles again. Sated. Blissful. Oh my gosh. That is so heartwarming. And we get to see our MC for the first time for real. It feels so natural when our lips meet, trapping this warmth in our hearts forever. Aww. That's lovely. Is that it? Chapter 3, Wither. This weekend feels surreal. Never have imagined that Shazaio would open up to me like she did, and to think that my original intention was far from getting anywhere personal with her. In all honesty, I'm not quite sure how I feel about Shazaio. She started out as a schoolmate, then a clubmate to someone whom I question deeply. To say that I am romantically interested in her might be a little too much, but I can't say that I don't feel anything about her either. The day at the amusement park opened a lot of doors, as well as closing many others. Shazaio is wounded on many levels, and while she let out her raw emotions, there wasn't much explanation. Her past is a tragic one, and I can tell she isn't faring well currently either, despite how she might act outwardly. One thing that I do hope is that, through being close with Shazaio, I can help her heal, and then maybe, just maybe, we can become something more. Of course, I can't help but wonder about the mystery surrounding the case and how it is related to her. There are more than just a few possibilities, and more theories I can handle. Perhaps in due time, I will find the answers. I wouldn't lie and say on Monday on my way to school there isn't a sense of melancholy hanging around me. I almost walked past Shiharu without saying hi. And when she chatters on our way to class, I just let the words fly by. Flare, are you alright? Oh, sorry, Shiharu. I was just thinking. What were you saying? It's okay. Are you okay, Flare? You seemed really stressed last week. I was stressing over strategizing a date with Shazaio and how to approach her. Funny how long ago that seemed. It's nothing really. The exams are approaching, you know. And I'm not particularly great with literature. Oh yeah, it's going to be tough for sure. I'm not good with science, so that's going to be really rough. We should have a study group. Yeah, that would be great. Since when can I lie with a straight-faced Shiharu and not feel guilty over it? I don't know why, but I just feel like keeping a secret over what I shared with Shazaio. Talking about it seems like a violation to our precious memory somehow. I heard Shazaio scored third on the entrance exam. That's really impressive. Do you think you should come to help us out? Probably. She's always up for getting out of the house. Alright, I'll text all of them then. I walked to Shiharu to class, hoping to run into Shazaio before school starts. No such luck. However, maybe she is running late. The rest of the morning passes in a blur. All noises fade away. My mind floats in a space that neither here nor anywhere. There's no focused thought in particular, not even Shazaio, and yet the first thing I do when lunch break hits is look for her. Oh, Shazaio, she never showed up today. Alright, thanks. That's alarming. Is she sick? Why did Shazaio decide to skip school all of a sudden? Hey, just wondering if you're okay. That should be impersonal enough, right? Friends are supposed to be worried when one doesn't show up at school unannounced. Why am I so concerned over this? Shaking my head, I make my way to the rooftop. At least there I spot familiar faces, or a few of them. Shazaio and Ember are sitting together, with the former fretting over the latter. Ember hunches over her glass of juice, scowling like she had a massive headache. How's it going? Ugh. Oh dear. Ember isn't feeling well. Oh no, how come? Probably a cold. Her voice does sound stuffy, and there are dark circles under her eyes. I suppose I should leave it at that. Who knows how volatile Ember can be when she's feeling ill? Who knows how volatile she can be when she's not ill? Shazaio probably caught the same thing. This is to gain some of Ember's interests. Oh? Yeah, she's not in class today. Shazaio's probably sick too. Emery isn't in class either. Oh. Oh no. You think they might both be sick? That'd be really bad. Poor Shazaio. Poor Emery. It shouldn't have been much of a surprise. They live under the same roof. It'd be easy for them to give each other the flu, or whatever common illness this is. However, I can't help but feel a bit uneasy over this. I glance at my phone. Still no answer. Do you think we should pay them a visit? Definitely. Shazaio, you promised to come over and make me soup. Oh, right. Of course I'll come to make you dinner, but... That's fine. I can go drop them a visit. You would? That's great. I made some waffles this morning. Wait for me after class and I'll give them to you for Shazaio, okay? Aren't they supposed to be mine? Ember, there's planes to go around, you know. It's funny watching them bicker back and forth like this. Shazaio has become a lot less timid since hanging out with Ember, and Ember doesn't come across as aggressive as she had been. Looking back, we all have come so far since we first met each other. Even if we can't solve the mysteries surrounding the town, I am thankful that we got the chance to meet one another. Maybe Shazaio feels the same. Maybe she'd take the positivity from this and turn out for the better. After school, I decided to call Shazaio on my way home. After school, I decided to call Shazaio on my way to the shrine. Somehow, I'm not surprised my call goes straight to voicemail. Hey, Shazaio, I'm popping over for a visit. Bring you guys some sweets from Shazaio. Say hi to Emery for me. I ended the message there, staring at the dark screen of my phone. Through the whole day since I found out that neither only she attended school, I can't seem to shake that feeling of uneasiness. Shazaio has always been a wild child, and of course she doesn't have to tell anyone when she decides to skip school. But Emery too? I just hope that Emery hasn't found out about our little trip over the weekend. I don't want Shazaio to get into trouble because of me. What would Emery do to Shazaio though, if she did find out? There wasn't any fear in Shazaio's voice last night, but then again, Shazaio has always been good at masking her real emotions. At least I know now. The uneasiness at the pit of my stomach churns, leaving a bad taste in my mouth and hastening my footsteps. But the music does not match the words. There doesn't seem to be a thing out of place. The gates are still static and cold. The steps polished with history and the forest whispering with the wind. Nothing seems out of the ordinary, and yet it makes my blood curdle. What is going on here? In the looming shadows of the building, Emery's white silhouette stands out like a ghost, but her usual cold demeanour seems to have vanished. Wide-eyed and crumbled on the porch, Emery seems completely lost and broken. Clutching her hands is Shazaio's prized plushie, the kitsune contorted under the force of her grip. My heart drops to the pit of my stomach. Emery? Why never? No, it's not. This is for the Not my fault. She did it. Yes, she asked duties. Duty comes first. Yes. The alarm in my head goes wild. I run, dropping Chihuahua's box of pastries and grab Emery by the shoulders. Emery, what's going on? Lies. Too many lies. Why did? It's her fault. Yes, she was told. Stay, stupid girl. Why? Disobedience only leads to disasters. Not my fault. No. She doesn't notice me being here at all, though some of the things she said makes my blood run cold. Emery, where is Shazaio? What did you... And just like that, Emery's eyes snap at me. You took her away from me! The force of her rage knocks me back on my rear. Stunned, I can only stare at Emery grabs my collar, screaming. Why did you? You broke it, and you took her away! What? Emery, I don't understand. Just like her sudden bout of fury, the slap that knocks me to the ground is unexpected. Pushing myself away from Emery, I sprung to a defensive stance. Emery is terribly wild, lashing out like a wounded animal, but she doesn't pounce at me like I feared. Emery just stands there, glaring at me with her wide, glassy eyes, so full of grief and wrath that every fibre of her body is shaking. My heart slams against my ribcage painfully. Where is Shazaio? What did you do to her? If this is about Saturday, it's not her fault. I asked her to... Shut up. Shut up. I throw myself out of the way as Emery flings Shazaio's plushie at me. The poor fox hits a wooden pole. Its worn stitching catches and bursts open at the seams. You would never understand. Why did you interfere? You ruined everything. She had time, and you took it away. Fear consumes me. Oh God, Shazaio. Heedless of danger as I surge forward, grabbing Emery by the elbows. She screams, kicking me in the shin. Yelping, I stumble but refuse to let go, resulting in both of us tumbling to the floor. Emery thrashes. Tears and spittles go flying. Using my weight, I hold Emery down, gritting my teeth every time she manages to land a punch or a kick. Let go. Let me go. I'm not letting you go until you tell me what you did to Shazaio. The screech she emits feels like it could shred my soul to pieces. With one last vicious yank, Emery goes still, heaving. There is so much hatred in her glare, it makes me squeamish. You want to know? You want to know? I will show you. With strength that someone her size shouldn't have, Emery breaks out of my grip and claws at both sides of my head, shouting as her nails dig into my skin. Yikes! I buckle under Emery's snarling weight. My vision swims, panicking further as I thrash helplessly into a sudden darkness. So this now is Emery's power. What is this? Where am I? Emery, what did you do? Kill me. Huh? Shazaio? Shazaio, is that you? I try to call up, but my voice distorts into nothingness. I can see neither Shazaio nor Emery. What's going on? What kind of trick did Emery play on me? Don't be ridiculous. Feeling frantic, I try to move around the darkness, but I can't seem to feel my body, like I am trapped in a bizarre nightmare. And their voices. Emery's and Shazaio's voices sound like they are at the end of a tunnel, muffled and echoing. There is a sigh, resigned and jaded. I will myself to propel forward, not knowing if any of my effort is yielding fruit. I don't want to suffer anymore. You chose this. I think this is like a vision of the past. Perhaps I did. Sparks of fey light enters my vision, flickering at every disembodied word spoken. Listen, Emery. I have something to tell you, but you have to promise me you will let me finish. There is something in Shazaio's voice that makes my stomach do an uncomfortable flip. Pained, tired, and yet peaceful. Shazaio, what are you doing? Along with my uneasiness, another burst of feelings creeps forward. Faintly curious, and with not a small amount of alarm. Well, my emotions are going haywire right now. I can't help but feel there's something about those feelings that seems too foreign, like they don't sync with my own. Oh God. Oh God. I'm experiencing Emery's memories. Or pieces of it. What is she playing? Why can't I see Shazaio? Shazaio's voice speaks up again, interrupting my disturbed thoughts. I did it. I orchestrated the killings. The curse demands souls. Words that are breathed out so softly. Shouldn't have crushed my mind, but they have. What? Why? You're lying. Shazaio. Shazaio, why? I have been using the powers given to me. I broke your seal. I let the fragment injected into me take control. Lying. This is not lying. You're always lying. Liar. What I just now realise is Emery's thoughts resonate so loud against my head. They make me flinch and yelp soundlessly, but they won't stop. They only grow louder and louder and louder. I wield it as my weapon, my own power, for however weak it is. The only she blood in me keeps me sane. I learned how to trick the curse, how to redirect my feelings. Liar! Stop lying! On. I trick it, making it chase and corrupt emotions that aren't real. Buying myself time. Liar. A lot of liars. More liaries. It's thanks to you, Emery. You taught me how to control my emotions well, and how to lie to myself. Shut up. Stop lying, shut up. Shut up. You know, I think that part of me did this because I want, just for once, you to chase me. No. No. Lying. You're always lying. Lying blank. Shut up. Shut up. Maybe my love is twisted. Maybe it's an illusion. Obsession, sorry. Maybe you don't want it and certainly it's not worthy of him. Maybe you despise me now for the things I did. Shut up. Stop lying. Yes, I hate you. Stop it. Stop. But it's okay. As long as I got to say it out loud, that's real enough for me at least. It's a lie. Always a lie. You are a lie. I thought of continuing forward. I thought of starting anew. A clean slate. But Flare doesn't deserve that. And I don't deserve him. Shut up. Shut up. We each deserve to make our own choices, but not to the magnitudes either of us or even Mother have made. Liar. I hate you. Gosh, a dying person won't lie, you know. Something shatters like glass, but darkness clips away or chips away, dissipating with Shazaio's last words. Emery, I know I don't deserve it. I don't deserve this life of being loved, but please grant me this one request. What is that last request? Reality hits me at once. From the sharp pains in my head to the dripping blood on my skin, instinctively I kick Emery away, shouting as scraps of my skin comes off with her nails unlatching. She still looks wild and full of mad rage. Trickles of saliva ran down the side of her pale lips, heart thundering. I half expected her to come after me again. Then, just as sudden as her outburst, Emery deflates. All the fight goes out of her in one exhale, leaving her crumbling to the floor. I spring to my feet, heedless of any potential danger. I burst into the shrine. The inner sanctum is filled with spilling candles, the light flittering and eerie. The altar is empty, save for a single wooden tablet. Everything seems to stop at once. Only Shizuyo. I can't breathe. I fall to my knees, head cradled into my hands. Nausea hits me in waves. Is this some kind of cruel joke? It must be right. She did it. I whirl around. Emery's earlier rage transfers to me with these three simple words. What didn't mean? You could have turned her in. Do anything. At least give her some kind of trial. She killed all of them. What is she saying? Despite all the horrible things Shazaio did, she is still Emery's sister. She couldn't have. She couldn't have. My head snaps around, turning in circles. The irrational part of my mind still stubbornly clings onto a hope that Shazaio would just spring out of a corner, manically laughing at my panic. Yes, Shazaio would do that. She would do that. But between Emery and I, there is only silence. What did you do? What did you do, Emery? I did what she asked of me. Something breaks inside me, like a thin sheet of ice. The cracks spread like a spider web, shattering as I draw my conclusion. It's like an invisible pair of scissors has cut all of the strings holding up my body. Oh God, you killed her! You killed her, Emery! Emery's blue eyes flicker dangerously in the light. No, you did. Beats of silence stretch out painfully, straining my attention. All the air leaves my body in a desperate, confused and pained wheeze. What did you... You never understood what you did, do you? You killed her. You broke down her mask. You exposed her true emotions to the curse. No. It ate her up from the inside, ravaged her. No, She had at least 2 years to live, and you broke that down to 2 days. No. Emery stalks towards me, the mad edge creeping into her eyes again. This seems familiar before, but with Shazaio's bad end route. You did this. You took her away from me! No! Terrified and broken, I shoved past Emery and ran. There is nothing else in my head but the pounding of my blood and Emery's screams. Gosh. That is it then, huh? Where else would we go from here? 9 months later. Yeah, I'm just going to look for my dorm now. Hopefully there are some grocery stores nearby. I'm famished. You didn't prepare any snacks or bring anything like I said, did you? Guilty as charged. There's a long sign on the other end. Really? You should be more responsible, you know. You're going to be living alone from now on. At least be a little more prepared. I chuckle at Chiharu's scolding. You're right. How are things over there with you and Ember, by the way? We just finished moving into the apartment. Ember is scouting the college gym. She told me to say hi. Tell her I say hi too. We chatter idly until I arrive at my dorm. Seems like I'll be getting a single room. Works out for me. For some odd reason, this doesn't pit as emotionally as Emery's or Shazaio's bad end room. Like, it feels very uncomfortable, but it doesn't bring tears to my eyes for some odd reason. Like, it's gravitatingly just as emotional as the others. Closing the door behind me, I sit down on the bed to take in the first whiff of my new life. Everyone is in a different place now. Chiharu and Ember have chosen to go to the same college together, with Chiharu dreaming of becoming a pastry chef and Ember studying business management. After graduating from high school, Ember sold her family's apartment for the tuition. They rent an apartment together with Chiharu, while having matured a lot since, still needs to be with someone, and Ember, as it turns out, hates being alone, so it worked out for both of them, and they're both good friends as well. And Emery. After the incident, she stopped going to the school. There was no announcement, no question, not even about Shazaio. I never shared what happened to anyone. I doubt anyone would believe me if I did. When Chiharu realized that neither Emery nor Shazaio were coming back to school, Ember told us to keep quiet, to not ask any questions about Shazaio. I never got a chance to confirm it, but I suspect Ember knows some semblance of what happened. It doesn't matter now. I never saw Emery again, and I never tried to visit the shrine before I left. I did, however, come to the town cemetery. There was no grave erected for her. I didn't expect there would be one, but I had hoped. Before moving off for college, I lingered behind for the summer with Chiharu and Ember, helping them get their moving done. and go on a small trip together. It was not the grand vacation we planned together, but it was something, and we did have fun. I'm glad they have become so close. They have a positive influence on each other, it seems. That all feels so long ago now. Rubbing my face to clear up any remaining tiredness, I drag myself to my desk, where an array of pamphlets lie. There's no kitchen in my room, and I don't feel like going to the communal one in the unit right now. There are probably some takeouts nearby. A piece of colourful paper catches my eye. Club's advertisement, huh? Shazaio's good end unlocked. Crikey. Like, the gravitating of that situation should have put me in tears like the others, but it just did not connect to me like the other ones did. But my gosh. Yeah, going out of town and opening up Shazaio's heart in a way has kind of broken her cycle. A cycle of being in torture and pain because of Emery's powers, and also the family's powers through her many years of living and suffering. But my gosh, that was definitely an ending and a half altogether. Club advertisements, huh? So yeah, was going through that ending worth the trouble? Absolutely. Even though it's taken me a full day of not knowing what to do because I kept going back and forth, that was a beautiful ending altogether. Even though it's not particularly a great ending for me, because I would have preferred to see it, the rest of the events transpire alongside with Shazaio, but Emery definitely was very scary at the end there. It's almost like she feels like we're responsible for her death. And in a way we are, but yeah. That was definitely an emotional roller coaster. Would you remember... What the hell? Would you remember today, Flare, just for me? Whoa. Whoa, whoa, whoa. Definitely will remember. Definitely will remember. Whoa. The music's changed. So that is... Okay, so we've got one. We've got 3 CGs left to unlock. 3 CGs left to unlock in the entire game. So that, folks, I imagine is in the secret route. No. Oh. Emmy. Emmy! We will save this for the next time, folks. This vision is certainly one of many memories. So, we will come to this, folks, and I imagine this is the gateway to the secret route of the game. And I plan to cover all of the secret route in one video, so whether it's 2 hours or 4 hours, it's all going to be included in one video. And I am very upset for completing this game, actually, because this has been such a wonderful, wonderful experience. It's not just a game, it's an experience. And it's a wholehearted experience that will live with me for the rest of my life. So thank you all so much for watching, folks. And see you all in the next and final time of Missing Time. Although there are probably some updates in the future. But thank you all so much for watching and take care of yourselves.